Brought to you by Sayge Media.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
We've got a great show lined up for you.
Tequila's a whole different kind of drunk.
That's a dumb stripper.
They're always stupid.
Good point.
Who are those guys?
And you just reach your arm in there and give it a couple of tugs. And
How do you give someone an IOU for a shit in the mouth?
They just keep telling the story.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
boop bop, diddly bop, pop, pop, boom.
How'd all you people get in my house?
It's half Jaeger and it's half rhinoceros piss after he's ate asparagus.
He was in here eating chips, taking a shit.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
Are we good? Is that my cue?
Yeah, I gave you your cue.
All right, here we are. We're
Every
back with
fucking week.
another exciting. I haven't been on this week. You guys recording without me? I'm not on this weekly.
Every other fucking week.
Every other fucking week. Yeah, I got it. So here we are with another exciting episode of the Guys Like Us show. I'm your host, Ryan, along with my co-host. Not currently watching the Braves game tonight, so we might get a little bit more out of them.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Buddies for the last 30 years. Few gaps in there, and then we got our producer here, Not Nick. How you doing today, Not Nick?
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, you already bitched at me. Is that your flammable drink?
Yep.
So we had the show before the show. If that ever goes up on a paywall, and
that's where all the good stuff happens.
That one. This
like the best
episode's show before
Yeah.
the show didn't get recorded. I'm sure they're really gonna miss out on all that old man talk with your CPAP machines that they had.
well,
going.
I was going to talk about your flaming drinks in the bar there, actually. So, and make sure you do not bring those up here when you guys come up to visit. Well, we have a little bit of time. So, actually, I was going to bring that up.
Getting it
early
through
in the
security
show
might be
is-
an issue.
What?
Getting it through security at the airport might be an issue. It's a
The
flamethrower in the
flamethrower?
shape of a gun. I think that's going to go off.
No, it's okay. You just tell them, look, I'm a podcaster.
Yeah.
They'll let you right through. Used to
It's
do it
part
when
of
I
my
was a DJ.
props.
When we
Yeah.
were DJs, they used
Yeah.
to let us right through security.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm
You see
already.
how he's making his hand like that? That was because we carried those official DJ.
Yeah.
We had the
DJ
laminate cards.
I'm
Sit
already
down
gonna
with DJ.
have to go through fucking TSA looking like me, who
Uh-huh.
always gets random security checked every
Random
time anyway,
security check.
with a bag full of cables
Yep.
and a thing in the shape of a bomb. So that's
I
gonna be
think
great.
I think you've already broken the YouTube don't cuss in the first. What? How many minutes are we supposed to not cuss now?
Yeah, well, fuck YouTube. You know what they
That ought to do it.
fuck YouTube. They're constantly working
Uh-huh.
against us anyway. So
I
they're
know.
yeah they're known now for pulling down episodes for bullshit anyway. So good. It's a
Let's
fucking
talk
wonder
about
we're
not-
actually on there.
Are we
Let's talk
moving to
about-
Twitch?
No, listen, we'll just
Yeah.
talk about how 9/11 was an inside job. They'll
Yeah.
never monetize us.
Yeah.
Legitimately, you saying that actually might get this episode pulled down. It might not even make it to YouTube. I'm serious. Theo Vaughn's episode got pulled down because Roseanne
I
Barr made a joke about the Holocaust. It's
Yep.
fucking Roseanne Barr, who's Jewish, made a joke
Yeah.
about the Holocaust, and then people
Yeah.
denying the
Yeah, I don't-
Holocaust, and then they
My
fucking pulled his
aunt and
episodes
uncle are
down.
Jewish.
That's
So I'm allowed to too because my aunt and uncle are Jewish. So
So
I'm allowed
you
to
think-
make this.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
Most
See
of Jew people's thing.
What the hell is it? It looks like there's an egg in there with
It's
the
a
lighting.
it's a big ice cube.
Oh, it's like a fucking iceberg.
Mhm.
That thing fucking sank the Titanic. Look at that ice cube in there.
Well, not the original one, but that new
Did you see
submarine.
that thing on the news where they showed that giant iceberg just like floating across this northern town up in Canada?
What?
You guys watch the news anymore?
It was always like that.
No.
Well, it was weird because it
I
came
assumed
real close.
It was always full of ice.
No, I'm up in
It's
Canada.
bad.
Like this giant iceberg just like floats slowly across. Like, I mean, it's like a building. It was like a building just of ice going across this town.
Hmm.
Are we allowed to talk about global warming on this?
I was going to say it must be that global warming.
I don't know the rules anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if we can
Well,
talk.
I'll tell you this.
So, how's it going?
I'm gonna plug Stage Dive multiple times throughout this, and on there we won't
Yeah.
pull your episode down. So that's a good start.
Yeah.
We're not gonna censor
Yeah,
you on
cool.
Stage Dive.
Is that a
What's that?
website?
It's a platform. It's a streaming
Tell us
platform that's
about
coming out.
Can you? Is it
Hey,
going
what's
now
that all
currently?
about?
What's
the beta
what's this slave? Was it
stage dive.
Stage dive. I
Yeah.
can't speak tonight.
Yeah, make sure
You
you
say
make sure you
slave dive?
associate slave with it as
Working
much
in
as
the
possible.
Can we talk about that?
Slaves? Yeah, please
You know that
associate
Hitler
my new
guy.
company with
That Hitler
slaves.
guy
as
wasn't
much
all
as
that
possible.
bad.
Yeah. I think we've hit the big three, haven't we?
We're 5 minutes in.
Yeah, 5 minutes in, and we've already hit 9/11,
I mean,
slavery, and the
I'm guessing-
Holocaust.
I bet Hitler loved his dog, though, right? You think?
That's a whole Norm Macdonald hour, I think.
Yeah. Isn't that the
his-
name of a
I was
special?
gonna say one of his specials is named that. It's like whatever,
Yeah,
whatever,
Hitler.
and Hitler's dog. And
Yeah.
like his big joke is about how Hitler had to love his dog.
Hey, you know how you like to talk about podcasts that are better than this podcast?
Yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of Fly on the Wall, which is hosted by David Spade and Dana Carvey,
Oh, cool.
and they'll tell old Saturday Night Live
Never heard of
stories, and they've been around, and so it's Joe Dirt and Garth from Wayne's World. Does that help?
Oh yeah, I know.
So,
It's pronounced Dirte. Don't go try searching it up.
But they were telling Norm McDonald stories and how like weird he was with like behind the scenes, and he was like one of his things he liked to do is he would text David Spade and just say, "David, how's it going?" And David would write him back, and then like Norm would wait like 2 weeks and he'd write him back, "David, are you mad at me?" He's like, "No, Norm, I responded to you." And he's like, he'll wait till like 4 a.m. 3 days later, "David, come on now." He just keeps fucking with him. Like, they said he just was like, he'd get so bored and just start fucking with people behind the sets and stuff. And because his humor was so dry that you kind of couldn't tell. Yeah, you couldn't tell if he was being serious.
Well, that's what I was just going to say about Roseanne. I mean, I've got my beefs with Roseanne, but I've seen the clips you're talking about.
Just because you hate fat people.
Roseanne rules.
She's clearly joking, right? But
Yeah.
people went out of their minds about it. She's like clearly joking.
Well, wait, hold on. Which time? Because she's been in a lot of trouble for a lot of different things. So
The one recently where she was talking about the Holocaust and stuff like that.
okay, yeah.
Not the thing that got her canceled, where she was saying that one.
Hold
she
on,
was
hold
already
on.
canceled
Yeah.
by then.
Oh,
Listen,
okay.
hold on. I'll say this about Roseanne. Roseanne rules, and the whole thing that got her canceled was bullshit. I actually believe her because if you saw her in the Rogan episode, I believe she was telling the truth. I don't know if either of you saw that.
I'll tell you.
Well, is this? I thought she got canceled for saying that Valerie Jarrett looked like she was from Planet of the Apes.
She did. But hold on.
She does. She does.
She does. And that was her point when she went on Rogan. He was asking her to explain everything and the ambient thing. And she goes, "Listen, I said it because the bitch looks like she is from Planet of the Apes. I didn't know she was black." She's like, "I didn't say it because she was black." And I love it. There's just a clip of her on Rogan going, "I thought the bitch was white."
You can make fun of white people. Those are the only ones left. Straight white people.
This was a long time ago, but I was always. I'm not anti-Roseanne, but I was pretty irritated with that whole butchering of the national anthem.
Right, that was my
singing
my,
that.
my biggest
I didn't like that at
That's
all.
true.
I mean, that's.
In fairness, who thought her voice singing the national anthem as well as she could wasn't going to be butchering of the national anthem?
That's true.
The hell just happened to Ryan?
I don't know. Can you see me?
No.
Oh my God, Ryan's dead.
I don't know what happened.
Your video went out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Are you talking to us from the beyond?
Yes.
He's in the upside down.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't think he saw the... You didn't watch Stranger Things, did you?
I thought Ryan did.
Ryan, did you watch Stranger Things?
I've seen all of it. I watched most of it with you.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm the one who hasn't caught up on Stranger Things.
You're such a loser. Of course, I don't know how they're going to finish that off because, like, by season 5, all the kids are going to be like, they're going to be 32 years old with like 3 kids each. And
I thought it already wrapped.
no, the second half they did.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a half a season left.
Well, but didn't they wrap filming it already?
I don't know. I don't know. Why does it take so long? I don't know.
I assume the writer strike is probably part of it.
Well, I mean,
Hey, there
it's
he
been
is.
forever, even before that.
There we go. But I'm using the regular. I had to switch from the webcam that's
Yeah, you're all
not
zoomed in now.
Yeah. Now you can tell. It
You're
is
all
thinner.
like that.
Fuck. It is thinner. What's going on in there?
Zoomed right on in.
How's it going?
How's it going?
How's it going?
How's it going?
Are y'all caught up on that, by the way? What are you eating tonight?
I got like a whole Thanksgiving dinner over here.
All right, everything seems to be working again.
Yeah, she's supposed to bring some of that over to me tomorrow. By the way, don't eat it. Don't eat it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Slow down.
Yeah, I got turkey, green beans, mashed potatoes, and rolls. I have a very inappropriate meal to eat on a microphone. It's like an entire fucking Thanksgiving dinner.
Thanksgiving in July.
So, yeah, I did. I
Well,
ate some of that sweet potato casserole today, and thought of like being at Thanksgiving.
Well, to Ryan's point, it actually
Yeah.
came because of another podcast that's better than ours.
What's that?
Taste Buds was debating white meat versus dark meat.
Come on, we're better than Taste Buds, right?
No, Taste Buds rules. It's
No.
Sal from Impractical Jokers and Joe DeRosa, who's funny as shit.
Never heard.
So what was the answer?
White meat.
Are we talking about turkey meat?
No, it was just
I'm-
white meat versus dark meat in general. So chicken, turkey, whatever. And the fans vote on it and stuff, and they debate their sides. And white meat
Depends
won,
on the
like,
situation.
59 to like.
I
fucking
prefer
vote.
white meat. I do.
I
It's
prefer
weird.
dark
Like
meat,
a
actually.
turkey dinner, I prefer like the white meat with the gravy and stuff on it. But when I'm making turkey sandwiches later on, I make it with the dark meat.
Huh? That's that
I don't
because
know
that's
why.
all that's left.
No, I just prefer it. It's funny too. I love being in charge of the turkey. Like I carve it, I do all that stuff. I got one of them electric knife gimmicks and all that shit. So like when it's over, I pack away all this turkey. Like, okay, here's my leftover dinner. Here's my stash for sandwiches for the
Oh,
next
yeah.
week. Like all that.
Yeah.
Like
Man.
I pack it all away, and everybody's like, "Hey, we got any leftover turkey?" No, I think
Nope.
we ate it all.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I start looking forward to Thanksgiving dinner right about 10 minutes
Now?
after finishing Christmas dinner.
So do you guys
It's my
do
favorite.
do you do turkey dinner both times?
Yeah.
We always
Yeah.
have like a ham dinner on Christmas.
Most of the
I
time
don't
we do
do
turkey.
both.
We usually do both.
Yeah, I was gonna say we normally do turkey and ham, which is great
Yeah.
because Tina doesn't like ham and she
Yeah.
doesn't really care about turkey. She'll eat turkey on Thanksgiving, but doesn't care. But the turkey she makes is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So
The-
that
the
means
girl can cook.
that means I have all of the ham and turkey leftovers pretty much to myself.
Yeah.
And really all the
Yeah,
Thanksgiving leftovers. It's my favorite meal
I
of the
usually
year.
get a gigantic plate before I leave.
Do you
too.
guys have
Yeah.
a lot of sides?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah. Tons.
it's my favorite meal of the entire year, and
Yeah.
she's hosted it, we've hosted it a couple times now. So she's made all the food. So I always know that like I definitely have enough of whatever I want because she always
Yeah.
makes sure that like, all right, if she's making an apple pie, normally she'll make two, one for the family and one for our house.
Yeah.
You know, because if I don't get some of that to come back home, I will attack everyone in the family.
Well, I like greatly discourage other people coming over. Like it's immediate family. I'm like, no, we're not even having it this year. Like we're not even cooking.
Is that
And then
So-
you're
is
like,
that
I don't know why they didn't. I don't know why they didn't show up. I invited them.
Yeah.
Huh,
Yeah.
they must not like us.
No, I'll tell you
Oh,
what.
well, more for us.
I'll tell you what the best time is.
You know what the
After
best to turn?
Thanksgiving?
Hold on. Do you know what the best to turn is? I told him it's fucking raining. I told him I started putting horseradish in the potatoes, and like nobody
I was
shows up now.
I was literally just gonna say I can't wait till we put some fucking horseradish sauce in our mashed potatoes.
It's called a callback, folks.
Yeah, that's right.
Swear
That's
to you,
what we
I'm
call
putting it-
that in the industry.
I'm putting it in the
Callback.
sweet tea next year. I'm gonna be like, I made the tea.
Horseradish tea.
He's gonna take one sip of it and he's gonna go like, ugh. I'm gonna lean back. That's horseradish. Yeah, pretty
That's good old-
pretty
Listen,
good.
I'll
Huh?
tell you what the
Uh-huh.
best
Good old horseradish.
what the best time
Yep.
is after Thanksgiving when all the leftovers and everything are there. Is when they're all in the fridge. I'll just say it. I'll get a little high, and then I'll I'll go to the fridge and I'll make a plate that goes in the microwave, right, with all the leftovers and shit, and I'll throw that in there.
Yeah.
And while that's heating up, I'll just eat it cold out of the fridge.
Yeah.
And that rules. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my favorite meal. That maybe more than Thanksgiving is the leftover meal where I'm eating half hot, half cold. It's great.
Eating the cold turkey.
Yeah. Well, and I'll do cold mac and cheese out of the
Yeah, I like
Nothing
cold
wrong with
mac and
that.
cheese.
yeah, and
There's
cranberry
nothing-
sauce.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Except for like he's eating it out of the container.
Oh yeah, I eat it out of the container with the big spoon that we served it with.
Yeah, I will not have leftovers at your house. I'm not sure if he's. I don't know if he's been in the. Speaking of tea, though, by the way,
I'll still eat it.
that's the kids talk phrase of the day. I heard them talking about
spill the
one
tea.
of their friends spilling the tea.
Yeah,
and I was just like, the what?
Does that mean like talking?
Who the
or,
fuck
like,
spilled
telling
the tea?
secrets?
it's
Apparently,
it's
like
gossip.
yeah,
basically.
gossip. Yeah, gossiping.
Okay.
So I was just, and I seem old when I tell them they better go fucking clean it up. You know, it's like, and what's funny is
tea in my house.
That shit gets on the floor. It's sticky now. Come on.
Yeah.
We'll get. That's
Well,
how you
what's
get
funny
ants.
is-
You want ants in here? That's how we get ants.
because it was funny because the other night Isaac was leaving the house. His girlfriend was picking him out up front, and he had a big thing of tea from Burger King where he works, right? And he hit the door too hard, and the tea went plop right on the floor, went spilling everybody. And I was like, "Whose business is that?" He's just like, "What?" I was like, "I said you always spill the tea." He's like, "Ah." And then he had it's so funny because he's the most dopey teenager. Like
He
he's
just doesn't.
see where he goes. I guess he goes. She's out there. Do I have to clean this up now? Yeah, like you're going to spend
No,
the night.
What?
Just leave that
Yeah,
37 ounces of tea right there on the kitchen floor. Don't worry about it. She'll be fine.
Oh no, he had the big gulp. Yeah, he had the fucking
it's-
big gulp. Like,
64 ounces.
Yeah, that'll be fine until tomorrow.
it's just
64
like,
ounces of sweet tea.
She's waiting though. Well, text her
Well,
and
she
tell her to go get a
come in here
fucking
and
mop
help.
and bring it
Yeah,
in. Yeah.
Tell her to come in and help.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, so he literally did spill the tea. But that's the teenage phrase that I've learned recently. I guess you're more accustomed to it there, right? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to ask you a question with a mouthful.
I keep having to hit the mute button. Yeah, I keep hitting
He's
the
like-
mute button while I'm chewing.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I know you guys are gonna fuck with me on this from now on, so I probably shouldn't say it, but I'm gonna tell it. Does anybody else can't stand the fucking sound of liquid being poured like on the radio and stuff?
Oh, I like it
Shut up.
actually.
Oh, those fucking like Pepsi commercials and beer.
Hey, you know what's funny? Wait, hold on, Ryan. That's literally that's part of the Sage Media at the beginning of every one of our episodes.
Yeah. I noticed that. Yeah, I can't. I have to. Do you know what it's like to try to like hit the 10-second skip right as it's starting the episode, so I don't have to hear? Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, it starts with the ice going in a rocks glass and something pouring. We always
You hate
drink when
when
we're doing
people
the
like
episodes and stuff.
smack their food when they're eating like.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad too. But I can't
Some
stand
people
the.
lose it with that. It just like doesn't.
Oh,
Well, that's
I
like
know.
the ASMR thing. Like, there's a lot of people
Right.
that love that. There are a
Right.
lot of people that like just
Freak
can't
out.
deal with it at all. Yeah.
Yeah. I would protest any product that used that if every fucking beer company didn't use it already.
It's so
Like
funny.
I'd never be able to drink a beer because they use it. That fucking pop the top, glunk, 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 glunk.
I like it.
Oh, I hate it.
It's so funny though. That is one of those
Being
things. That,
poured
like,
into it, being poured into something.
some people
Or-
love it, and like you have such a like visceral fucking response to it. You hate it, and yet
hate it.
there's chicks on OnlyFans that get paid a crazy amount of money because dudes want to jerk off to just hear them make that fucking sound with their mouth
Yeah,
or whatever,
well,
like when they
yeah,
like
they-
eat food
they-
and shit.
They got
Or
they got dudes jerking off for them farting in the camera
for
too. though.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on cakes.
I think
cake farts.
I think
There's
that's
a
the
market-
most. Yeah.
There's a market for everything on the internet.
Well, it's what
Except this
I think
show
Eric
apparently.
Eric Von Hessler put it the best, where he said, "There's a fetish for everything."
It's true.
It's
really true.
It really is. So they it's just disgusting. And then speaking of that show, that's the other thing that like I hated was when like Larry went through a phase where he would like eat a bowl of cereal on air in the morning. And he's just like fucking crunchy. He's like, have you guys tried this Special K with like when they started putting the freeze dried strawberries in it and stuff? He's like fascinated. And it's like crunch, crunch, crunch. I'm like, God.
Every once in a while.
No worse than Eric's nose whistle.
Every once in a while on Rant and the Raven, we would eat Mexican food on the air, which meant that we were just crunching chips right into the microphone.
Yeah. That fucking knows what they could have changed that to the Jew and the flu. It was crazy.
Hold on, Ryan, you say that. Have you gotten to I don't know how much you or how far you've watched into Always Sunny.
I really haven't gotten that far.
So you're definitely not to the where they have like the whole courtroom thing in the bar over the
is that past episode 4?
yeah. It's a later season. There's an episode that so they have a podcast, by the way. If we're talking about more podcasts better than ours, they have another good one.
Glad to open that can of worms.
Yeah, but they talked about on there. You said the bowl of cereal, and it made me think of it. There's an episode of Always Sunny where Dennis is eating a bowl of cereal while he's driving, and one of the other people rear ends him, and his cereal goes all over the car. And they're having a whole courtroom thing in the bar about who's at fault. And apparently that was a real story. Glenn Howerton came in furious because he got rear-ended, and he's like going, and he's spazzing out. And he's like, "Fucking hit my car! Now my car's dented, and I gotta clean out the inside of it. They're gonna have to get in the vents and clean it." And they're like, "What? Well, hold on, what?" And he's like, "There's fucking milk in my vents." And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, "I was eating a bowl of cereal when I got hit. It went into the vents." And they were like, "Hold on, you're eating cereal while you're driving?" But they said he was so angry about it, they couldn't turn it into an episode until like a year, because he was so angry. It was like a year later. He went on vacation, and they wrote the episode. And when he came back, they gave it to him, and he was like, damn it. Okay, yeah, we can do it. He's like, it's too funny not to do, but he was so angry. They were like, we can't bring it up right now, but hold on to it. We'll make it an episode at some point. We can't do it right now.
I had that fun summer thing that happens occasionally where I was driving and my fucking rear view just pops off the windshield.
What?
My rear view mirror. Sometimes, like the older vehicles, when it gets too hot, it goes. But it's like connected, so it dangles from that fucking cord that I don't know what that goes to.
You know what I used to do regularly?
What's that?
I made the same mistake every single day back when I worked at the car wash. I would always get a shitty parking spot so that in the summer it was just like a beam of light right onto a specific part through my windshield where I left my sunglasses.
Mm-hmm.
And I would jump in there at lunch and I'd put my aviators on, so I have the steel frames, and I would just burn right onto my face. I would just burn that steel frame right onto my fucking face every single day. I'd forget every day and throw my sunglasses on and burn the shit out of myself.
But he'd keep them on so he looked cool.
Well, after they burnt me, what am I going to take them off after? I mean, there's no point in that. Plus, it's sunny outside.
So, we've talked about the trip that you guys have coming up, but I'm making a trip to Greensboro, just like a little getaway. And I today I bought tickets online to go see the Durham Bulls play. They play over in Durham, it turns out. And so, so I figured I'd go see them, but it reminded me of a story.
You're talking about me with my vacations.
Yeah, I'm going to Greensboro and Durham. That's all I can afford after laying out on. Yeah, after laying
J. Paul
out
Getty over here.
Yeah, I'm staying in a place where a place where the doors face the outside. There's no hallways or anything. Like I'm not staying in the place where those fucking people tried to break in the window, though. I am avoiding that part of town this year, so that's kind of smart. But the Durham Bulls, it reminded me of a story in high school. So when I was a junior about to become a senior, I was nervous that I was not going to be able to graduate high school on time. And so I decided to, at the advice of everyone that was an adult in my life, go ahead and take a couple of summer school classes just to sort of be sure, and be ready for my senior year, and the credits would count and that kind of stuff. So I was taking a summer school class, and there was
Hold
a
on a
girl.
second.
Yes.
Hold on a second. Were you behind? I mean, like, had you failed classes and you were behind?
I don't think so. I don't recall
So
ever
let-
getting a bad grade,
so-
but
Going into your senior year, you decided it would be a good idea to
I was
take
advised to that I
the
needed
last
to take.
the last summer before you got out of high school. You decided to go to school.
No, I think
during
it was a math thing. I think I needed to.
Nerd.
I don't know, a nerd. Yeah, I had to go take a math class because I sucked at. No, it's because I sucked at math.
But did you fail your
You
other
still
math
suck at
classes? Were you
math.
behind?
I may have. I can't remember the circumstances. I may have been failing math, but I had to take. I was told you probably should take this to graduate on time.
Okay.
All right, so I'm taking summer school with.
It sounds like
There
someone
was,
was
like-
fucking with you and you fell for it.
Well, that happened a lot when I was a kid, but so.
Holy
Oh,
shit! He's
man.
gonna do it. He's gonna do it. He's
So-
signing up for summer school.
Well, I saw that movie and it looked really fun with Mark Harmon. I thought
Yeah,
we
the
were
problem
going
is you don't look like Mark Harmon.
I
That's
thought,
the problem.
well, he was the teacher. I'm saying for the students. Students had a lot of fun. They went to the beach. We lived in Georgia, so I'm
That's
not
just
sure.
summer. That's
I know.
that's
No,
without
it's
school
the movie
part.
called Summer School. No, they did
That-
that. No, they did that as class stuff in the movie, though.
So that's what everybody who didn't go to summer school. That's what they did.
Yeah. So anyway, but so they had people from other schools that were in this class, though. They were like students I didn't know. They weren't the like Meadow Creek and Shiloh, some of the other surrounding schools. And so there was this girl there, and we would kind of flirt back and forth and everything. And we did. You remember the old days when you used to? It's not texting. It's when you used to actually like write a note and pass it.
Lame.
So we had this note that would like she would write one little thing and I'd respond to it and add something and pass it back, and it would go back and forth, right? And so I had seen the movie movie Bull Durham recently. Have you seen that movie?
I think
Bull
I did
Durham with
like
Kevin
87.
Costner.
no,
Yeah, with Kevin Costner and Susan Sarandon and all them.
no. Kevin Costner's
Like-
cool.
So
Like
So they have a-
1987. I did.
right. So there was a scene in the movie where Susan Sarandon and Kevin Costner are passing this note back and forth, right? This kid, like a ball boy, was like taking it from the dugout and going up to the announcer stand and delivering it, and then she would read it and write something, or send it back. So it kind of felt like that scenario. And so she was telling him like he needs to open up his stance and his swing or some sort of, baseball advice. So he wrote, "I want to make love to you," like as a response, right? And so there's like a kind of a famous line where she reads it and she just goes, "Oh my," right? So it's and they do that. And so I thought at the time, I was like, that was kind of smooth by Kevin Costner to write that, and just shift the whole thing to fucking really, basically, right? So she sends the note, and I don't remember what she had wrote on it. I had no intentions of writing anything but what Kevin Costner wrote and send it back. I was like, I'm doing the Costner thing. So I write, "I want to make love to you," and I sent it back to her. And she reads it and she gets this big smile on her face and stuff. And like the pit of my stomach is fucking turning because I realize, the second you give that note, you're like, oh shit, she's going to fucking read this shit.
I can't just take that back.
Yeah. Yeah. So she writes something and she sends it back. And I'm telling you, because I was awkward with girls. I didn't know what to fucking do, like any other teenager and stuff, but I was pretty bad at it.
Oh, really? You seem
But
so
I read
smooth
this
now.
I read this note and I read her response and it says, "What if I get pregnant?" And I was just like, oh shit. Like and then all of a sudden I go, I almost said it out loud. I go, "She's into it though." like, that is not a no.
That's not a no.
Later on, when I'm a professional, this is going to be known as a buy-in question. Like, you know, where somebody's kind of, you know,
That's
this
right.
is going to be known as a buying question.
Those are buying signs.
She's into this. Oh shit! What do I do now?
Well,
I don't know what to do now that she.
I didn't think I'd make
her.
it this far.
I didn't. Yeah.
I know your track record, and she probably would have got pregnant. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had to. It's a good thing I shut that down pretty quickly. Like, I don't know what to do. I gotta run.
I wouldn't trust you to pull out of a driveway.
Get an extra. That's how you get an extra building in the back of the house, though.
Yeah, sure.
Got this studio now. It's great. Oh yeah, but yeah. So I was buying tickets for the game today, and I remembered that.
Well,
and we did sort of hook up a little bit.
I was going to say that's one of those things where it's like that's sexual harassment, except if you look like Kevin Costner, it's cute.
Yeah,
I didn't look like.
Yeah.
I look better then than I do now, but
Well, let's hope so.
I wasn't Kevin Costner.
How old is Kevin Costner?
I don't know. I think they discussed it in his divorce or something, like 60 something.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I don't know. I just know he's been making movies forever, and he's in Yellowstone, and he still looks pretty good in Yellowstone.
I don't remember what his.
I'm looking.
I don't remember the first movie I ever saw him in.
I really liked him in Dances with Wolves.
Yeah, he's great in that.
Yeah.
That
You know what movie I watched today for the first time?
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I ever saw Dances with Wolves. You were like, you were telling me about this movie, and then you got it, and you were like, "Hey, we're gonna watch this movie." And you go, "It's really good. It's a Kevin Costner movie." Back when that was still a good thing.
I mean, he had a bad stretch for a while.
Yeah, but I didn't know anything about Kevin Costner. That was for no one in the room except you. You just you were just like, "This is a Kevin Costner movie."
It's pre-Waterworld. Don't worry. Don't worry.
This was around Waterworld. You know?
Yeah, it's pre-Waterworld.
said this.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even know who he is in relation to anything. That joke was only
This is
for
where-
yourself.
This is
back when he made
pre-Postman.
good movies.
This is pre-Postman.
He's 68, by the way.
I think No Way Out is the
makes
first movie I remember with him and Gene Hackman and
Now, Gene
somebody
Hackman's
else.
the shit.
I love Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman's awesome.
Oh,
yeah,
Ryan.
Yes.
Speaking of old guys and also Yellowstone, how was the new Indiana Jones? Because I'm hearing don't spoil it, but I'm hearing mixed reviews. It seems like people are either really into it or they really hate it.
Yes.
Didn't you
Plus
go see it?
Really?
it'll be out on DVD by the time this episode drops too,
Probably
right?
streaming
So then
already.
I was just waiting for you to say old.
I haven't
old
heard
people
anybody
talk
say
about
that it was
DVD.
bad.
I've heard some
enjoyed it.
people
I
say they
enjoyed it.
did not like it.
It's one of those
How
you
old were
have
they?
to.
How old were they?
Yeah, the young people don't like it. The
No,
older people-
not young people. Like in between us, not as young as I am, not as old as you guys are. Like
I'm ready to go see
30s,
Barbie.
40s, late 30s, early 40s.
So I went to go see Raiders of the Lost Ark when it first came out, and I saw it at the North 85 Drive-In. Okay,
Yeah.
and this is back before the remember how you would tune in on your car radio, but
Yeah.
this is before that. They had the little speaker box that you'd hang in the window.
Yeah.
Well, it was raining like hell, and we were watching it, and we couldn't hear what was going on. We actually left because it was so terrible, right? And then when I actually got to see it again, I think I saw it on a theater inside, just like an indoor movie theater. And I was like, why did we leave? This is an awesome movie. My stepdad wanted to leave, and I think it was just because we couldn't hear what was going on, and it was raining, and you couldn't really see the film, and it was like, this sucks. Let's go home. But it was such a damn good movie, though.
Really, really was.
I've actually the complaints that I've heard have not been from the younger people that I know. It's been not old, but like not like young crowd either, though. Like I kind of would have expected that.
But hold on, let me touch on a couple of things with Nick's thing there. Number one is I remember seeing that at the theater too, and I enjoyed that one. But when the next one came out, Temple of Doom, I was old enough then to be able to ride my bike to that movie theater on Buford Highway, the Burlington Coat Factory Mall.
Right. Yep.
On there. So I must have seen that like 7 times because I could scrounge up $1.50 and ride my bike to that thing to see that. When I saw that,
and then stay in the theater all day long and watch. Like,
yeah. You'd walk around and watch them and stuff.
I got to go to the bathroom. You go to the bathroom and come out and go back into a different one.
Yeah. Are you sure you were? It's the other two. It's the other one too. Like the same way you could in that town, you could like buy your parents cigarettes, even though you couldn't, see over the counter. But the other thing is I remember going to go see Hot Dog the movie because Playmate of the Month Shannon Tweed's in it, and like I can't even reach that counter to buy the ticket for. But we need two for Hot Dog the movie. They're like, hey, kid.
Need a pack of Camel Unfilters. Need a pack of Camel Unfilters for the old man.
Mine, I still haven't memorized. I need a pack of Benson and Hedges Ultra Menthol Lights, please, in a box, because they had to do one, or it was always in the box. Yeah, and then if I showed up, and it was a silver tinted box, so if I showed up with the gold tinted box, it was like, God damn it, you got the wrong kind. Go back. It's like another fucking mile and a half walk for a kid.
One of the
sorry, hang on 1 second.
All right.
The 85 drive-in. This pertains to something now. So I remember walking up and down during the weekends. They would turn it into a flea market,
right?
Like you could go up and down the aisles that the cars packed in, and everybody would have their vans backed up and the doors flipped open and all this shit. And so somebody had a box of tapes, like just cassette tapes. You know what those are, Nicholas? Not Nick?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So somebody had a box of those, and I was looking through them, and I saw a cassette tape for Sam Kinison.
Nice.
And I didn't know who he was at the time.
Wow.
And so, but he had recorded his version of Wild Thing that had come out. And so I knew that song. I had heard that somewhere, probably on MTV. And I saw that song track was on this cassette tape. I was like, oh, I love that. I love that guy. He's so loud. And so I bought the cassette tape from him, and I went home and I played it, and he kept talking and he kept telling jokes. And I was like, the fuck is this? I'd never owned any comedian's tape or anything like that. I was like, what the fuck? And then finally he got to the song and he sang it, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, some of that shit was funny though. And I went back and I listened to it, and I eventually wore the fucking tape out, it's a great special, like a great comedy bit, and stuff, and I love it. And so recently I noticed, like, you can't get that on Spotify or any of that stuff. They've blacked it out.
Oh, really?
So, so I was like, you know what? Comedians have this big deal with Spotify because they don't get paid like recording on it. They feel like they should get the money. They wrote the material, so they think they should get the same money that like singers get for their material, and they're not. So they
should, yeah.
Right. They should. I believe so too. So I decided, well, you know what? I'd like to have that again. So I'm just going to go on eBay and see if somebody's selling it on a CD. And so they were, and it came in the mail. It was like $5 and stuff like that. It came in the mail, and I grabbed it, and I was on my way to work, and I was like, you know what? I think the Durango's got a CD player in it. I was going to fucking listen to Kinison on my way out there. I put it in 2 seconds in, like, ladies and gentlemen, and the fucking CD craps out.
Oh no!
And I fucking can't get it. I can't get it to eject. I keep trying to. I get an error message constantly. I like switch to A. I'll switch to AM radio and switch back to CD. So it just holds it hostage. I'm like, God damn it! And then I'm so pissed that I don't have it. I go back on there and it's like, oh, here's a fucking auction. Somebody's auctioned this one off, and it's just at $3. And I put my bid in, and I'm ready to go. Fucking like 2 days before the bidding's up, I'm driving, and it just whoop, whoop, and spits the CD out randomly. I didn't hit a button. I didn't do anything. I was like, God, and now I'm like praying somebody outbids me $3 for the Sam Kinison CD, and of course they did. And they're like, "Hey, you won!" And I'm like, God damn it. So when you guys visit, if anybody would like their own copy of
I've actually got
Sam Kinison, I am selling it for $5.
That's what I was going to tell you. I'll give you $3 for it. Because that's the $3 one.
Yeah.
But no, I've actually got that. I think I've got it on my phone right now. As a matter of fact, that's the one where he talks about like got to like drunk driving. He's
Drunk
like,
driving,
you gotta drink and drive.
Yeah.
How else are you supposed to get your fucking car back to the house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
You're
used to
gonna
get-
drink and you're gonna drive and you're gonna pull it off because most of us do it every fucking night.
And the Jim Baker stuff.
Yeah.
Jim,
Yeah.
come back to the table. The kids were just teasing Jim.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, man. Sam Kinison is a perfect example of like someone that came out just
Irony?
on. Well, yeah, that. I mean, that for sure.
Have those
But
drunk
someone-
driving jokes and then
yeah.
get killed by a drunk driver.
But also someone that came out and was just on fire, and then his next couple things were just not
Yeah,
great.
but he had started to. He never had the career that he probably would have had. I remember like at one point, like Stern had auctioned like bought rights for a movie about him and stuff or
Yeah.
whatever. But
Well,
like
he became a
was
rock
doing-
star.
He started, yeah. Well, I think he dabbled in too many things. Like he was doing his stand up. He wanted to be a rock star, and he
Cocaine
wanted
being
to be
one
a
of them.
movie star.
Yeah, really.
Right. And then all the drinking and drugs and everything, and then like his obsession with was it Jessica Hahn?
Yeah.
Like he always wanted to be with her. But like it was
She was a hot bitch.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
from
I always-
the stuff that
I
I've
always
heard,
thought she looked like the White Snake girl.
Tawny
The
Katane.
one on the hood.
Katane.
Yeah, I always thought they looked a lot alike.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard from like just comics and stuff, like hearing them on podcasts and stuff that were around with the Sam Kinison era, was that like he kind of became a rock star and just stopped caring about the act, because he was just larger than life personality. He could go do whatever he wanted. He was at every party. He could he had the life already. So he wasn't working on material, and so what suffered was his actual stand up.
Yeah.
And then once the stand up started to suck, it was like, well, now you're not. No one cares about you being at the parties and stuff as much because you're not the funny guy. Like you were the funny guy, and now you're not so much.
I
the funny
bet,
guy.
I bet he was fun to party with though.
I
For
can
sure.
imagine.
I bet he was really fun to party with. But he was the funny guy at the party, and I think
Like
I think he
once
just
every
got-
5 years.
Yeah.
You gotta
Well, like,
recover.
imagine like partying one night with him and Chris Farley.
Oh my
Oh
god!
Jesus! And throwing Belushi, maybe.
I was about to say Belushi.
Yeah, and David Lee Roth for some reason, because that's the guy everybody always names and want to have a beer with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's listen to his stories.
I felt that way until I heard him talk. For too
yeah, he
long.
was like on a. You know what's funny is he was like on one of those he was on one of those like celebrity poker tournaments one time on ESPN or something. Like it was kind of boring to listen to. And I know he's focusing on the game and everything. And then he did that on The Sopranos too.
I was going
Like,
to say,
he was
remember
at-
he was on the Sopranos at the card game.
I don't know if that's where they got the idea of seeing him on a celebrity poker or whatever, but at the same time, like he seemed boring on that too, actually.
Well,
He's
I
actually
heard
a
him-
pretty smart dude.
He is a smart dude, but I've listened to his Rogan episodes when he goes on there, and that's such a long form thing, He'll go on there for 3 hours, and after the first one I listened to, I was like, I love David Lee Roth, but like, I don't know, you never turn it off, huh? I don't know that I'd want to hang out with him for a whole night if this is what it's
That's what
going
I
to
was
be.
saying about that's what I think about Kinnison is like.
Yeah.
Eventually, you want to kind of find the volume knob on there. And,
Yeah.
Little
I can
goes a
only
long
listen
way.
to some. Oh,
I'm sure it's the same thing as like if you were to hang out with Ric Flair. Like, I don't need you wooing in my face the whole fucking night. Like,
yeah. But you know what's funny is I think it's not this. I like hearing the stories about the people that were like in orbit of all that shit. Like I can listen to Ric Flair talk about all that stuff and everything, but like the people that like went to the bar and tried to hang with Ric Flair, the fun stories.
Yeah.
And the best ones really like even better than Ric Flair stories are like the Andre the Giant ones where they talk about how much he consumed. They told a story I heard a story the other day on a radio show where he would go to an airport and get there early enough, like this, back pre 9/11, all that kind of stuff. He would get there early enough to, go to the bathroom and take a big fucking dump and all this shit, right? He'd get it all out of his system, right?
how?
He'd go to like the handicap stall or whatever.
Well, he couldn't sit on a normal toilet though. He had to shit in the
Right.
tub when he'd go to a hotel.
But here's the thing: this guy was telling a story about how they caught a flight to Japan and they were running late, and they were like, "Look, you don't got time for that shit. Like, you got to get on the plane. Got to get on now." And it's a commercial airline, right? And he's on there and he's like, "Boss, I gotta go." He calls everybody boss, like people who work with me. He's like, "Boss." And the guy's like, can you hold it? And they're like, we're fucking flying to Japan. Yeah. So he's like, I can't hold it. He goes into the back. And so what he does is he took a garbage bag and then he wedged his ass into the airplane thing and shit into the garbage bag. And this guy was like, you don't understand the smell of an Andre the Giant shit, and it's just in this bag flying with us. He's like, when the smell hit the fucking all the passengers, he's like, there were people throwing up in their bags, and it was just so fucking awful. And he was like, and I looked back in the aisle to just see him just trying. He couldn't even get his ass through the doorway all the way. It was just, you can still see like half his teeth, and stuff. But he's talking about, he's like the smell. And we're just flying with this thing in a bag. It looks like a fucking elephant shit in a garbage bag. And so those stories are the best. Like those are a lot of fun stories. Is listen to what he had to go through.
Yeah.
But it's pretty crazy. My wife says that you talk about cutting things out a lot on the episode, but then it stays in the episode.
Sometimes.
Yeah. I get in a lot of trouble now that
Sometimes
she's
it's
decided to
funnier to leave
listen
it
to
in.
this. And she's like, listen, I understand why you're coming to bed so late now, because they tell you to wrap it up about 7 fucking times. And you start ramming about other shit. I was like, he's supposed to cut that out. She's like, he doesn't. And I know that you're the one that keeps it going that long. And I was like, sorry.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah.
Nick, don't cut this out.
I'm not cutting this out. This is staying in.
She knows I get in trouble. She's like, and who is this broad that runs the Brazilian Munchies truck? I was like, oh, no, Nick loves those kind, like he's into those Brazilian women. She, ugly. I only like her cooking, baby.
I actually don't even remember what you're referencing, so I'm sure that's going to get you in trouble again.
Yeah.
Could have just let that one ride.
We were talking about the food trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was back when we were talking. It was on episode 37, around the 27 and a half
I don't
minute
listen
mark.
to these. I don't listen to our podcast. I live it. I don't have to go back and listen again.
Well, if you do listen to it, you'll probably have to not listen to it on YouTube, because I'm sure this one didn't make it on there.
That's a good promo. That's a good promo. Like, we should brag about the fact that no, we don't have to listen. We live it. I like that. That's a good tagline for this.
Learn it.
Yeah.
Love it. Live it.
Live it. That's from hold on, don't say Fast Times. So
That's
Fast Times, it's what what's that guy, Judge Reinhold? Is that his name?
Yep.
Yeah.
He says that because
like
the kids
guy.
always come in and then take their shirts and shoes off. They walk through the door like it's okay, like you have to when you're reading the sign, but once you're past the sign, it's hard to just start taking that shit off.
Such a great movie.
I
It's a
love
great
that
movie.
movie.
I told you it wasn't that long ago. I thought that someone was pissing me off. What went through my head was that when he's like, "Sir, if you don't shut up, I'm gonna kick 100% of your ass."
Your ass.
Yeah. Judge Reinhold is very underrated.
He's great.
He's pretty funny. He
great.
makes a great almost straight man in the Beverly Hills Cop
Yeah.
movies. In the second one, he kind of goes a little overboard with all the guns and shit.
Yeah,
Kind of
he-
gets into that,
he
but
plays
was
the
his
guy
name
that's
in that?
always he always plays the
He's
guy
the
that's
nerdy white guy.
yeah.
The nerdy white guy.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
he's always just dumb enough that he's not the straight, like his character's not the straight man, but he's
Yeah.
always kind of the straight
Yeah.
man. He's really, really good at that.
yeah, I did like his stuff, and it was fun. He's even good in like
I don't
the
remember
Santa
his name.
Claus movies.
Yeah, he is.
He's good in that because I think his name's like Neil or something. And like it's subtle humor where he's like always wearing a Cosby sweater.
Yeah, he is.
And then finally, I don't know if it's ad lib or not, but fucking like Tim Allen finally kind of cuts him on his sweater. Like it's a real passive aggressive comment about it. Like he's almost like complimenting him about it, but you can tell he's putting him down. But like that kind of stuff is really good. And but Fast Times is probably does anybody fucking knock around here?
Oh, that scene with Phoebe
I
Cates.
know.
Rosewood. That was his name.
Rosewood. That's
Rosewood.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And Taggart, right? Rosewood and Taggart.
Taggart. Yeah.
Great movie.
There's another one of those coming out at some point here.
I think I did hear something about that.
Yeah, I don't know if I like it or not like it. Like all this stuff, it's to me, I'm not so against it like everybody is. I'm fine with things like Let 'Em Lie, you know? Like
I think it depends on what it is.
I was fine seeing everybody from Coming to America again in that movie, but if it had never come out,
though.
It was all right. I mean, it's like it's weird because like I've seen Coming to America so many times. It's like just visiting friends or whatever, you know.
Right.
And you're gonna hang out with these people for a little bit. It wasn't great. It's like when they bring back all the Clerks movies and when they bring back. Start doing all the other stuff. I'm used to hanging out with Jay and Silent Bob, so fine, make another one. I don't care.
But well, and granted, I'll say this: I didn't see the Clerks 3 or whatever was that the like newest one? So that is actually really good fucking movie. So I was gonna say I didn't see that, so I can't comment on that one. But Clerks, awesome. Clerks 2, awesome. Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, awesome. So like they keep putting out good stuff. I don't know if it was just the amount of time in between or just the fact that they just weren't able to capture it again or what, but I didn't hear anything positive about Coming to America 2. And I pretty much everything I heard was like, I kind of just wish they didn't make it because I love the first one and they ruined the second one. I would have rather them just not made it.
But to me, it's like the second one doesn't ruin the first one, so fuck it. I'll watch the first one again someday. It's just with all this stuff, it's the same thing. If they make it with the Indiana Jones one. It's not like exceptionally great, but it's cool to hang out with Indiana Jones some more and watch him do Indiana Jones shit.
Well, a lot of people hated the Crystal Skull one too. I liked that one.
Yeah,
I liked it too.
Yeah,
it wasn't as good, but I liked it.
Yeah.
How was I heard some complaints, but not a lot of complaints about the. Actually, it was very mixed. I heard a lot of people say it looked great, and a lot of people say they didn't like it. The de-aging.
Oh, actually, that's it. I remember seeing that, thinking they've hit another level of being able to do that.
What I heard from the people that seemed more honest about it were that if they didn't like it, it was just
I lied about it just now.
No, it seems like the people that didn't like it just because they went in not wanting that to be a thing, as opposed to like it being not done well. If that makes sense.
Maybe
I don't. Why is that a problem? Like you're telling like this part of his past is important for this part of the story, and now you like, in the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade,
I don't have a problem with it.
Like it's like in the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, they had River Phoenix play a young Indiana Jones and do stuff, and what they told at the beginning of that story was important later on. Like it's a bit of, they're giving you a bit of an origin story or so. So they did that. With this one, it's when he's an adult, but a lot younger. There's stuff that's going on that's going to be important later on. So they show it. And instead of him being like caked up with makeup to try to, and hair dye and stuff to make him look younger, they de-age him like they do with stuff. And all I thought when I saw it was, this is about the most natural de-aging I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
Like it's right up there with, what is it, The Irishman? Where they do that with
I'll tell you
De Niro
and this might be where some of the complaints come in. The Irishman, I understand a little bit of those complaints because I said it when we watched it, if you remember, Dad. And The Irishman, they de-aged De Niro, and like it does look pretty good, but when he starts beating that guy's ass, you can tell De Niro is 190 years old. It does not look right when he's beating that guy up because he looks
old. Like he's about to break a hip.
Right.
Yeah, he's just old. I'm fine with it because I love De Niro. I'm one that I'll go like, I don't need to.
But if you watch when you watch Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford moves like he was like it's Temple of Doom or whatever. Like it's not the whole movie. It's 10 minutes maybe tops.
I mean, I can suspend disbelief. I mean, I get
Right,
it.
exactly.
I mean, it's a movie.
Yeah, and they're just trying to tell a full story.
Am I having fun? It's like the Star Wars movies that everybody's like, "Oh, that was terrible." I remember watching some of the Star Wars movies, going, "That was awesome. I loved it." And people are like, "Oh, it was terrible." Well, I'm like, "What? Did you watch the same movie I did?" I guess I don't take it so serious because it's.
But
like,
I think all three of us are more accepting. I think so. All three of us are pretty. Like I think we're different than the people who go in like wanting to find a reason to hate something.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm spending money on it. Like I want to enjoy. I want to like it, and so I'm going to accept it a lot better than a lot of people nowadays do. I knew I was not going to hate Indiana Jones coming out.
Well, and here's
I knew I was going to enjoy it.
I love Indiana Jones. I grew up watching those movies. Right. That's one of my favorite like series of all time is Indiana Jones. I love it. I don't want to not like it. I want. They were like what?
They were like what? Almost 10 years old when you were born. Not Crystal Skulls, but
right. When did Raiders come out?
89. I think Raiders was 81, 82.
No, it was early. Yeah, I think it was
super early.
It was more than 10 years.
The last early 80s.
The last one came out in 89.
Yeah, so I mean, I was born in 96. So I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
81.
Yeah,
you know what?
More than 10 years.
That reminds me because I had the Raiders of the Lost Ark on Atari. That's how
nice.
Old it is.
But but growing up, you were like,
I did too. It was
cool.
called
Check
Pitfall.
these movies out.
Yes,
And
I had it too. It was just called Pitfall.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Remember hopping on those alligator heads? You had to wait till the mouth shut.
Yep.
But I'll say this too, though. I mean, when the first Star Wars of the sequel trilogy, when they like this last round of them that they did, when all the original cast is old, I laughed about it when we watched it, but again, I'll suspend disbelief. I don't need to pick it apart, but Harrison Ford, there's the scene where the stormtroopers are chasing him, and Han Solo and Chewie are running, and he's running, and it's just like, oh man, he's kind of old. Like you can just see like when he's running, and then he punches the guy, and it's like that's not a Han Solo punch from the 70s. That's
right, but
he's old.
I mean, that's to be expected. I think they actually. They lean on that,
I appreciate that he went through the effort to make the movie.
100%. I just laughed about it, and I was like,
could you imagine
he's definitely older.
Could you imagine it being played by another actor? No, you can't. It can't be another actor. It's got to be him.
So that's actually what I was going to say about the whole de-aging thing. Is you remember they made the Solo story? Remember where they had to have somebody else play him because it was his like prequel thing?
I actually haven't watched that,
and it actually was good. It was good. It was.
I liked all of them.
I did too.
I loved the Rogue One.
That was weird. I loved Rogue One. The only thing that was weird was just seeing Han Solo not be played by Harrison Ford. And it's like if you're willing to just go like, I'm in it, not like I'm in the movie, and there's no way they can make it Harrison Ford, so I'm just gonna buy into it. Then it's a really good movie actually. But if you sit there the whole time and go, this isn't fucking Han Solo, well, you're not gonna like it. But that's kind of the problem. If they didn't de-age him in the new movie, if they had a different actor play a version of Indiana Jones that we've already seen, because he's already that age in Raiders and Last Crusade and all that other shit, well, everyone's gonna bitch about that if it was some other guy that's supposed to be Indiana Jones. Well, that's not it. No shit. Harrison Ford's old as fuck. Like,
I think the Last Crusade may be the best of them all.
Yeah, that is the best Indiana Jones.
It's neck and neck right there with Raiders.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, I thought
think because Sean Connery's in it.
Do you know what I did not realize?
Kind of like the third Die Hard
until recently.
Right.
I don't know if you guys probably know this, but I didn't. I don't know why I didn't realize this. The events in Temple of Doom take place before the adventures of the stuff in Raiders.
Yeah, it's a prequel.
I didn't know that. I didn't realize it was a prequel.
Early 1930s.
Yeah, I saw it as a kid and everything, and I never caught onto that as a kid, and then I just never paid that much attention to it being beforehand. But I do think um, Last Crusade is by far the best.
I think it's kind of like the third Die Hard movie. Like it benefits so much from Samuel L. Jackson being being opposite of Bruce Willis. It's
Right.
Like Sean
Right.
Connery's
Sean Connery.
so good
Yeah.
himself
Yeah.
that it makes the movie that much better.
Yeah, I think it seemed like they pulled together everything to one movie. You know, all
Yeah.
the greatness of everything. And I remember at the time everybody hated Temple of Doom when it came out. Like that was like they were like shitting on it back
A lot
way
of people
back
still
then.
don't like it.
They didn't like it because of the extreme. You know,
it wasn't as good. It wasn't
darkness,
as good
I
as
guess.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, but it was still very, very entertaining.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was great.
Do you guys remember?
I loved it.
I wasn't around for this, obviously. Do you guys remember people hating Ewoks in Return of the Jedi?
Oh yeah. That was like
Yeah.
that was like, you know, Jar Jar Binks hate.
I was
hate,
just
but,
about
like,
to say
back
Jar
then.
Jar
Yeah.
Binks.
Yeah. That was the, you know, they're like, oh, they're trying to sell fucking teddy bears now.
Well, by
know
the time I got to Star Wars, but by the time like the prequel trilogy was coming out, and it was like my age's like new Star Wars movies. By then, it was almost like the Jar Jar hate was so much. It was like, no, Ewoks were fine. Fuck this new thing. Like everyone just flipped to just pretending they did.
You guys know that Jar Jar was going to be the ultimate bad guy.
They
right?
should have kept it like that. It would have been so much better.
Yeah.
It would have been
I did
so
read
much better.
something about
That was the original plan for him to be the ultimate.
It would have been awesome.
The undercover Sith,
Well, I mean,
basically.
not the ultimate, like he would have.
No,
like,
he
the
was supposed to be
the Emperor will always be.
Yeah, but he was supposed to be the anti Yoda. So the
Yeah,
original thing was that Jar Jar was pretending to be this bumbling idiot, and you can actually
Right.
see if you there's stuff that you can watch like on YouTube, but if you
On
go back and
YouTube,
watch the Phantom Menace, there's times when like Qui-Gon is doing like the Jedi mind trick and stuff that Jar Jar's actually back there doing it. You like they planted the seeds of Jar Jar having the Force and like manipulating people throughout the movie and stuff.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he ends up on the council and all that. And like all that was like these strategic moves, and he has the dumb voice and everything. And at the end of Attack of the Clones, when Yoda fights Count Dooku, it was supposed to be that's when you find out Jar Jar's been faking the whole time, and he actually has this like
Well, that
really,
would have given
like,
him more depth.
this like evil voice.
Yeah.
Well,
And,
people
like, you know,
hated him
he-
so much that they changed the story.
Yeah, they bailed on it. Had they just, you know, they should have just dug their heels in and done it, and it
Well,
would have been
see,
awesome.
like that's what they do in wrestling. You know, like when
Make
The
him a heel.
Rock came out, Rock was such a over the top like good guy, like baby face and all that kind of stuff. They told him they're like, you can't smile enough, like you can't be out there
Yeah.
waving enough, you know, and smiling. They did, and then all of a sudden they were like, you know, die Rocky. Everybody got sick of him because he was such a over the top, you know, shaking hands and all that stuff that they were like, we got to turn this guy. Like everybody's already booing him, like everybody already hates him. So let's feed into that. And so they should have done the same thing with Star Wars, and that's how like The Rock was born. You
Hey,
know, it's
Ryan,
him turning heel and start, you know, telling them, you know, them, I like, fucking die or die Rocky die, go fuck yourself. You know, let them start spouting that shit. They should have had Jar Jar kind of do the same thing.
I think so too. Ryan, with you being a wrestling guy, you might know the answer to this. I saw something that so The Rock, I think his first match, like his first like big match, when he kind of like made his name, he won the match.
Well, he was in the 1990. He debuted at the 1996 Survivor Series, and he was the sole survivor on his team. Like he beat Goldust,
Right,
and
but weren't there two guys left on the other team, and he ended up winning?
Right. Yeah, he
Right,
kind
but-
of ran. That's what I'm saying. He was the sole survivor, and he ran
Right.
the
But
table. With,
what
like,
I was gonna say is, am I right in thinking? I think I heard The Rock break it down one time that he actually was supposed to lose that. That I think they were kind of setting him up to be a jobber, and they flipped it in the ring. That, you know, while they were doing all this stuff, I don't remember who it was that he beat in that match.
I
but
think
they
were always
kinda
no.
told
I
him-
don't think it was like that.
Okay.
He thought it should be like that. Like he was down in Memphis and, you know, coming up, but they brought him up like a year into his career, and then like, we're gonna push this kid to the moon. He's the first third generation guy. We're taking his grandpa's name and his dad's name and combining them, and we're going to push him to the moon. And he was kind of like, people are going to hate that. Like, you're about to say, here's this kid, and they're like, oh, you got all this, you don't have the pedigree, but because you come from this family of it,
right,
everybody will buy in. Of course, you're a natural and you're winning and all that kind of stuff. He was the one that said, maybe I should, slowly build, like maybe lose a match here and there. I should maybe that's what beat 3 fucking guys in my first night,
Maybe that's what it was. I just remember him saying something about when he was locked up with the one guy, him going like, "Go for it, kid! Go for it, kid!" Like something like that. Like he kind of gave him his big moment.
I think it was Crush or whatever was kind of like.
I got you.
And like back then, it was he used a shoulder breaker for a finisher, and he didn't have anything worked out.
Right.
They just told him come out and smile. Wave at the crowd and smile. That's all you got to do. We'll do the rest, and it didn't work out. But anyway, then he became. It was his idea to become The Rock. And he's like, I think I should do this shit. I'm kind of a arrogant motherfucker. Like I played for the University of Miami, and I was a loudmouth on that team. I fit right in. I have this personality, so let me go out there and. I was the one that was on the field talking shit to the other players across from me and all that. So let me go out there and talk shit, I don't need to smile. Let me be an arrogant prick because, I'm a good guy and everything, but, being an arrogant prick's kind of natural. At least it was back then.
Have you heard? Wait, hold on. What the fuck are you doing? You're making all kind of noises.
I know.
Who?
You.
I don't know. Beer bottle?
Maybe. Yeah.
Set it down?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're making all kind of noise. Have you heard Warren Sapp talk about The Rock?
No.
You want to talk
about a fucking shit talker?
I was gonna say you want to talk about someone talking shit. Warren Sapp basically said that The Rock got bounced right the fuck out of. That's why he's a wrestler, is because he got bounced right the fuck out of football because he couldn't hold next motherfucker's jockstrap. That's why he's not a football player. You want to talk about someone talking shit? He unloaded on The Rock.
I can imagine. Yeah, when they don't. It's like kind of like what happened,
Yeah.
When you find out they played for a major college, and it's kind of like, well, what happened after? He went to Canada. He went and played for the Canadian League for like a year.
Yeah, it was like unprompted.
They always have like this. They always have like this phantom knee injury. They always blame it on that. Any wrestler. I swear to God, every wrestler from Wahoo McDaniel to Hacksaw Jim Duggan, any one of them that played in the NFL, there's always a fucking knee injury that cost them their NFL career. Goldberg, all of them, but somehow like they can wrestle with no problem with like running around and doing all that shit. So that they always blame it on a knee injury.
Well, speaking of knee injuries, right before this episode, we got that update that Naheem Hines that got traded to the Bills last season.
Oh God,
that he's out for. It was funny because I got the ESPN thing where it was just breaking news. It was Naheem Hines out for the season with a knee injury, and there was like the little drop down thing where you see the rest, and I was like, oh man, that sucks. And I pulled down on it, says because he got hit by a jet ski. I'm like, whoa, that's not what I expected it to say next. Holy shit!
Wow.
I don't know why, but it reminded.
He heard it in practice or something. Now he got run the fuck over by a jet ski.
Who was the baseball? I think it was a baseball player. You'll know this way better than me, Nick, because there was the baseball player who was doing something like jet skiing or something like that, and he got hurt. But he tried to lie and tell everybody he was like washing his truck, and he fell out of the back of his truck or something.
Oh, that was the second baseman for the Giants.
What was funny is
Jeff Kent.
Yeah, Jeff Kent. And it was funny because Jim Rome kept telling the story, and he kept talking about his porn stash.
Porn stash, yeah, that's him.
That's all he would talk about.
Yeah.
He's like, he apparently claims he fell out of the back of his truck, plus he's got a porn stash. Like, he would always
got a
just
porn stash.
Yeah. And he's got that porn stash. Like, he would reference the porn stash every time. Like, he was always hoping Jeff Kent's, like, he was hoping that news story would never let up so he could just keep bringing up the porn stash. I just couldn't remember his name. But that's I don't know why that's what reminded, because I think he was a jet ski accident too. But no, I was washing my truck and I fell out of the back. They're like, motherfucker,
landed on his porn
we
stash.
just saw your porn stash out on the beach, fucking jet skiing up and down, fucking stash waving in the air. But that's crazy. What's that?
That's my wrist.
What happened to you? Are you all right?
Yeah.
You're gonna you fucking land in a plane over there?
Callback.
It's a callback. So,
Yeah. Get this. All right, so not because of you guys, because it pisses my wife off. Apparently, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up on cue.
Well, it's really gonna
on
piss her off.
time.
You brought the Brazilian girl back up. You didn't have to do
No,
that.
just talked about like being in trouble for it. Like it's real life. I'm just putting it out there. I'm brave enough to put it out there. God, I hope she doesn't hear this.
Well, I'm not cutting it out, so I hope you are brave enough.
Yeah. It's like the you remember Kevin Nealon with the Subliminal Man?
yeah.
Yeah, he's talking. Yeah, my waitress came over, total hooker, and she was taking my order.
That was an excellent.
That was a good bit. He said that was
awesome.
his very first bit on Saturday Night Live. We fucking lost a producer. Is he all right? He's just fucking gone. Do I wrap it up anyway?
Yeah,
Yeah, wrap it up. I was just grabbing a drink.
Okay. Where'd you go?
I was just grabbing a drink.
I got you. All right. Well, that's gonna do it for this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Shit. I didn't practice this morning, but I know. All right. If you're listening to us on the YouTubes, you should like and subscribe. A matter of fact, don't even bother with YouTube. Yeah, we're on there, but we have our own system that we're using now, right?
What?
But
what are you referring to?
I was trying to pass. You said we had our own platform that people could follow and not have to worry about YouTube taking us down or any of that shit.
Coming out soon. It's not out quite yet. For the time being, still go to YouTube and Spotify and like and subscribe. Follow
Are we on
us.
anywhere else besides those two?
Yeah, we're up everywhere, but those are the two big ones. But yeah, I mean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all those. Wherever it is that you get podcasts, go ahead and like and subscribe. Please leave a comment. That definitely helps.
Do I have merchandise yet?
Listen, make sure when you're done listening to the episode, be kind and rewind.
That's right.
For the next person.
Also that. I remember when I used to have to use that pencil on that Sam Kinison tape to... Oh, he almost made it to an end without spilling something on himself. Almost. Oh, you were right there at the finish line. Oh, I'm so glad I drugged this out just a few more minutes. I was praying. Who had the over under on that? End of the episode. Who had that? Whoever it is, you won. Yeah. Well, so if the equipment has not been damaged, like in Guys Like Us 1.0.
I made it through a whole Thanksgiving dinner without spilling anything, and the last fucking minute I spilled this drink. Damn it.
Good job. Happy Thanksgiving. Anyway, so
on line.
Yeah, don't step on. Yeah, and like and subscribe. Leave a comment too. I'd really like to start reading some of the comments on this shit. I'm pretty sure my wife's lying to me. She's like, "Oh no, it's great. It's a good show." I was like, "Does it sound like a morning show?" She's like, "Yeah, it sounds like a morning show."
Do that and follow us at @GuysLikeUs_pod on Instagram.
Yeah.
Go like our Facebook page, and if you want to send us an email directly, you can send it to us at weareguyslikeus@gmail.com. If you want to have anything read on the air, in turn, if you want to complain or if you have any grievances with the show, you want to air them out, we can do that. Or if you actually like the show, which I'm guessing is the minority of you.
Listen, I have thin skin. I can't tolerate that shit.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
I will be like trying to find out people's IP's address just to go beat the shit out of them. I can't put up with the criticism. It's not going to go good.
Send it my way. Send the criticism my way. I'll fight you on the air. I don't care.
There you go. That I would pay to see. Hopefully other people would like to see that and listen to this. So like and subscribe. Don't step on bound power lines. All that good stuff. And we'll see you, or you can hear us in the next episode.
He's got a porn stash.
Wait, don't surrender.
This has been a Sayge Media production.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.